Want to get a permanent, vibrant glow every time? Today I'm sharing 3 tips for mastering perfect pearls. We're going to be creating a stunning nighttime scene with a shimmering finish that truly lasts. Let's dive in. Hey guys, I'm Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner, and I'm so excited to be back on the Ranger YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be playing with something I really don't do enough of, and that is perfect pearls. There are a ton of different colors of perfect pearls, and there's a lot of different ways that you can use them. Right now I am practicing with just the basics, so we're going to do a little bit of stamping with perfect medium. We're going to use some perfect pearls over the top to make it all nice and shimmery, and I'm going to show you a couple of tips on how to get it to not rub off on your hands when you get done. This perfect pearls is special. It does have a resin embedded in it. However, I have high humidity, so I had trouble getting it to stay on without rubbing off on my fingers. So I'm going to show you a couple of tricks as to how I'm getting that to work right. So if you're having the same issue, I may have just found it for you. So we're going to just start off with some dark cardstock. I'm going to use some Distress Black Heavystock. Oh gosh, this stuff is so gorgeous. Yeah, this is some super black. I have a friend that calls it black hole cardstock because it is really black. It does not reflect any light at all. This piece is my regular black that I use for card bases and most of my general crafting on black. But when you have the Heavystock next to it, that pretty much looks great. This is black cardstock that I got from Michael's. It's Recollections Heavyweight, but this stuff is absolutely gorgeous. Both sides, look, it is absolutely fabulous. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp a little scene on there from the Treescapes stamp set from Simon Hurley. And I'm already doing one that is going to be tropical. I think I'm going to go with, let's do Christmassy. I'm going to do this one. So this is going to be a good one for fall or winter or whatever, depending on what colors and such that you use. So that's what we're going to use there. And I like to double stamp. So I'm going to be using a stamp platform for this. This is just to help me get more of the perfect medium on there. So Actually, first tip I forgot to do, and I'm going to go ahead and do that before I mess up this piece of cardstock. Because I'm in Florida, I have realized that we have high humidity, and it could affect how well the resin activates. I did a little bit of research, and it looks like, and I'm still working on getting confirmation because this is just me, so this is what I'm finding though. I've read that it's possible that if you have too much water, it could cause the resin not to activate like it's supposed to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up my cardstock to try to get out most of that extra water that is in everything here in Florida. So yeah, I live in Florida. We have high humidity all the time. Today it's probably, I don't know, over 50% probably. So I'm going to go ahead and heat this up. And one thing you're going to notice first off is that the cardstock immediately starts to warp. That's because I'm pulling water out of it. So we're going to go ahead and heat this for a few minutes. What I've noticed is when I heat it up, it usually flattens itself back out once I get that moisture out of it. Okay, so this looks pretty flat. It is pretty warm to the touch, but I think this is pretty good. I've gotten most of that moisture out of there. It's probably not perfect, but I have no way of measuring it, so we're just going to go with it. So I'm putting down my cardstock onto a sticky mat. I'm going to be using this so that I can stamp multiple times, and we're going to go ahead and put this down on here for a sec. Actually, let's go ahead and put our trees down. So I'm going to go ahead and put my trees down here, and we're going to pick it up with the platform lid, and we're just going to press in some of the perfect medium. And I'm looking at the stamp from the side to just make sure that it does look shiny, so I know that there's some medium on there, because this stuff is clear, so it is really hard to see. And I'll go ahead and stamp that down. And just using a chalkboard eraser to press it in. And you should be able to see some of the shine from that liquid. I'm going to stamp it one more time in that position, and I think I'm going to give this a try and do a second at a different position. We're going to see how that one does, because I may wind up messing it up, but that's okay. Okay, we're going to go ahead and stamp that right back down, right where we did the first time. I love my stamp positioners because they all could do this. Okay, and now I can see more shine on there, so I can tell I got decent color there. I'm actually kind of thinking just leaving it at that. Could go up higher, but I really want to get nice green on there, so I'm going to leave it as this. But I think I'm going to add a moon. Okay, I'm adding one more thing. We're going to use this. This could be a sun, this could be a moon, whichever. I'm going to just place it, let's place it right there. And I'm going to stamp that one down also with the perfect medium. And I think that looks pretty good. One thing I have noticed is that you're going to wind up with ink that's a little bit heavier in some places than others. You're going to get some of the perfect medium that is thinner or thicker in different spots, and that's normal. What it's going to do is it's going to add a little bit of texture to your perfect pearls. When you got your perfect pearls, you probably got a couple of different brushes. So the ones I'm using are the ones that came with my perfect pearls with my initial set. And I'm going to be adding some of the perfect pearls to my cardstock. I'm going to start off with this perfect gold. I think that's what that one's called. This one is an older one that I've had in my stash for a while. You can see the label has pretty much changed, but I'm pretty sure that this one was perfect gold. So I'm going to just use it for my moon. And I'm just pressing that in, kind of scrubbing it on with my brush here. Okay, and you can see how the perfect pearls are sticking to that sticky ink. And then I'm going to use a second brush to pounce it and pretty much set it down into that. So that is, okay, tip number one, pre-dry your cardstock, preheat it. Tip number two, use a pouncer to do the second piece of adding that in. I think I'm going to add a little bit more. I don't know that this actually does anything. I've been practicing, and I have seen sometimes, ooh, it does look like it's doing it. It does seem like sometimes if I go back over it a second time, it gets a little bit brighter. So we're going to do the pouncing thing again on there. And I'm going to just tap that off. It's not going to tap off a whole lot, but I want to go ahead and do the rest of my trees. So now I'm going to use a paper towel just to wipe off whatever little bit of perfect pearl mica is still on there and switch over. You don't have to have separate brushes for this because this is a dry brush, although you can do wet techniques too. But this one is a dry brush that I'm using. And now I'm going to add this to the trees. We're doing the same thing, just rubbing that on there. So pretty. Let me zoom in a little bit for you guys. And I don't think I had actually thought about doing that second layer of the same color over the top to try to get it to set more, and I like that. I'm going to try it again on this part because I know that there's going to be some parts that are not as dark as I would like, and that's fine. We're going to see, or rather not as bright, because this is bright on this dark black cardstock. And I'm going to try to take some of it from where I just was and just press it into the next area, kind of lifting it off and moving it over. You can accidentally scrub off some of the ink if you brush too heavily on there. So we don't want to do that, but we do want to get that kind of into all of that pretty perfect medium. This is so lovely. And it's pretty much like magic. Okay. And just a touch more down here, and then we'll bring in our smaller brush and go ahead and do some pouncing on it to kind of press it into that medium. And I can already see there's some parts that look a little bit light. So I'm probably lifting some of it off as I'm pouncing, but it's going to be okay. I'm going to add some more. Right back over where we were a second ago. And I do like that it is actually brightening that up a bit more. Yay! Experimentation is fun, and practice sometimes tells you some things you didn't know before. Okay, I think that's, well, let's do a little bit more over here, and then we're going to do another round of the pouncing. I don't think it made as big of a difference down here as it did on that moon, but I still think this is going to be lovely. Okay, so next what we're going to do, first going to close this up. And there's our panel. We have a lot of mica everywhere where we don't want it, right? So what I'm going to do now is take another brush. This one is a dry brush that I'm not using pretty much for anything else. I'm just going to take that right off. And look, we've got those lovely trees, that bright moon, and most of the excess perfect pearls has been removed. Now, if you were to rub on this now, it is going to come off. We already know that. So what we need to do is we need to set it with some water. Now, depending on your humidity, who knows, maybe it doesn't happen like that for you, but for me, it definitely rubs off every time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some water from my mister. I'm going to do a light mist away from my desk, basically wave this panel through it, and you do that a couple of times, and then I'm going to heat dry it again, just like we did with the initial panel. And I'm going to go ahead and wipe off all of this excess that is on my desk into the trash, because there's not really a way that you can put it back into the jar easily without picking up extra stuff, you know? Okay, so let me take out my heated gun again, and we're going to go ahead and heat this panel. And you can see I did mist it, and now it is slightly warped. So let's flatten that back out by just using our heat gun. Now, I think this is just lovely. I do see some shimmer in the background, but that doesn't make me sad. I think that just adds a little bit of character. I am going to go ahead and do the test, though, because I think we're going to probably have to go with another step to make it so that this is nice and sealed. But, yeah, I'm good. I try not to if I don't have. So I've got my finger. You can see it's pretty clean. I'm going to go over some of the green where it looks a little bit grungy that I think is not going to be fine. And we're going to see if I got out enough of that moisture for that setting to actually work as well as I would like. So if I go lightly over it, it doesn't really look like anything comes over. If I go a little bit harder, this one actually looks pretty good. Okay, I went over some over here, and I can see, you may not be able to, I can see a little bit of shimmer there. So let me take a paper towel, and I'm going to do a really small test This is just me, okay? Once you find a technique that works for you in your climate, use it, okay? But for me, yeah, none of them have been working. So I'm gonna just do a light. I'm not seeing anything coming up. I am gonna show you what I am gonna probably do and what I've done on other panels. This one actually looks really, really good. It looks like I got all the moisture out. If you are still having trouble where stuff is rubbing off, I'm going to recommend using a fixative. This is from Grumbacher. I've had this in my stash since, according to the copyright on the back, 2011. It's completely full because I've only used it a handful of times because I forgot I had it. Anyway, I'm going to go and I'm going to spray this outside, away from the fumes. Yeah, make sure that you don't bring those fumes back into your house. I'm going to go ahead and spray this outside, and we're going to give it some time to dry. And once it is completely dry, which is going to be probably at least a half hour or so, I'll come back, we'll add a sentiment and finish up this card. The shine is still there. Love that. And it's not rubbing off. So the fixative is the final nuclear option to make sure that your perfect pearls does not rub off. So I love, love, love how that turned out. Okay, now we're going to put this down onto a card base and add a sentiment. I went and grabbed a couple of my stamp sets from Simon Hurley because I love all things Simon Hurley, and was just reading through some of the sentiments on this one that I didn't notice first time around. So this one says, life's adventures are better when shared with a friend by your side, grateful for the many adventures we've embarked on together. Most of the time when I'm looking at a stamp set, I'm looking at all the cute images. I love that sentiment though. I think that that's going to work best with the thank you, and that would go perfect for this basically nature type scene. Although this would work great for Christmas too, gotta say. But I'm going to use these two sentiments together. And let's see, how do I want to do that? Okay, so we've got the thank you, and then I think that that's going to work nicely. And why don't we add some heat embossing as well? I added a bunch of anti-static powder down, and now I'm just adding some embossing ink. This is the Embossed Clear Embossing Ink from Ranger, and we're going to go ahead and stamp that down. Oh, that looks so pretty. And now we're going to go ahead and add us some embossing powder right over the top. This one is super white, super fine detail white from Ranger. Okay, and then we can just take our heated gun and heat the panel back up again. I'm going to trim this down to about 5 1/4 by 4. So I'm trimming off 1/4 inch off of two sides. I like using strips of foam on my cards because it kind of gives it a more solid base. But you could absolutely use pop dots, foam squares, whatever you have in your stash. And then to make sure it lines up perfectly on my card, I'm grabbing out my T-square again. It's got a jig on one side that gives you an 1/8 of an inch mat. So I'm going to put that down there, just like that. Wedge it in there. And then I'm on a Glassboard Studios glass mat. So I'm going to use my magnet. This is a tip somebody told me in one of my live streams. But I'm going to use the magnet to hold my T-square down right where I want it, so I don't move my paper around or anything like that. It's making it stay right where I need it. And I'm just going to slide my card right up against the edge and put it down. Now, a lot of times I wind up seeing that it's not exactly perfect. It's perfect on these ends. It's not on this one because my card base was not cut perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and trim it down a little bit. Looks like it's just off by a smidge. So there we go. It's more perfect. Love the way that this looks. It's very, I don't even know what the word is. It's not really the style that you guys see from me a lot. I don't do a lot of flat scene cards, but I'm loving how this one turned out. Look at all that shimmer and shine. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you did, and check out these other videos over on the Ranger YouTube channel for some more crafty inspirations. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.